B-roll cameras rolling. Oh my god. Are we doing like a Seiko lineup comparison? What's going on? Too much going on here.
The best comparison.
Seiko baby, Seiko baby!
Alright.
This is Seiko day. It's gonna be Seiko month for you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. But we're trying to get our subscriber count up. I don't know what to tell you. Hi guys, I'm Patrick.
I'm Adam.
And this is Clock.
Stock.
And Barrel. Coming at you with a consumer's opinion on everything watch related. And as part of Seiko month, it's unofficially Seiko month here. I don't know if you guys know that, but June in the States is Seiko month. We're making that a thing here on the show. And to commemorate Seiko month, we're going to start off with a review of some of Seiko's in-house movements. So we don't have a 7S26 in today. It is sort of the bottom of the barrel for Seiko automatic movements. It's a good movement. It's just not that accurate. It lacks hand winding and it lacks hacking.
Yes.
And the beat rate is like 21,000 or slower?
Yeah, 21,600.
So it's a good movement, but we don't have that in today. Again, that's something Seiko produces. I don't know if they sell that to other companies to use in their watches.
I think they have in the past. So, yeah, we don't have that today. That's what you find in like an SKX and a standard Seiko 5, right?
But we do have a 4R36.
Yeah.
And this old Seiko Tunas used to use it too, right? Or sorry, not Seiko Tunas, but the Seiko Monsters would use the 7S26. The new ones have the 4R36.
Yes, and
so
even newer monsters have the 6R15, I believe, too. But those are like the newest generation.
Excuse me, that's more accurate. So 6R15 here in the middle. Then we have the 4R36.
Correct.
And then we have in the Marine Master
the 8L35.
The 8L35. So guys, you'll notice that just one thing I want to point out before we start is the Samurai has an installed sapphire crystal
Shogun.
Shogun. I always get the Samurai and the Shogun mixed up.
Yeah, it's kind of easy too.
But this is a little bit higher up in that feudal Japanese warrior chain.
Yeah.
This is the Shogun, and it's using anti-reflective sapphire crystal. So if you guys notice that, that's not stock standard.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about the movements.
Yeah.
And then a very slight comparison of the watches themselves, but what we've noticed are observations of these watches. We've both owned. I'm the only one who hasn't touched this 8L movement. I've never had a watch in my collection with it. There's only so many Seikos with that movement, actually.
Yeah.
But I have owned a 6R15 and I have owned a 4R36.
So let's touch on the 7S26 really quickly, since we don't have that here.
Yes.
Just knock that out of the way, which you can find in a Seiko SKX, like I said, in a bunch of Seiko 5s and everything like that. So what have your experiences been? It beats at 21,600.
Yeah.
Obviously, the accepted range of accuracy. We don't have that number for the 7S26 in front of us, but it's a pretty wide range. It's like kind of be like plus or minus 30 seconds or something like that.
And it's variable too. Like it's not tested. I don't know how they test them, but like if I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say this right, but if like I'll sleep and I'll rest the watch in different positions.
Yeah.
I'll notice different results in the morning.
Huge variations, right?
Yeah. It's a little odd. Like sometimes it'll gain 30 seconds or sometimes it'll gain 15 seconds between days, and you just need to come to expect that. But the thing is with that watch, you're only getting an approximate time anyways because it's not hacking. So you're never going to set it to an atomic clock and expect it to run on the second. That's just not what you're getting with that watch. But again, you're only paying like maybe a sum total of $200 new and definitely less in some cases. And again, we're not gonna really touch on this, but there's the K and the J variants, and so prices vary there. But if you want a basic model with a 7S26, just expect something that's inaccurate.
It's inaccurate and also very inconsistency is a word I'll probably use a lot here.
Yeah.
In regards for this entire video.
Yeah.
Seiko in general, which is the biggest knock I have on Seiko, but the 7S26, the biggest thing is, I have heard countless stories of people with an SKX where the power reserve doesn't hold. No. You know what I mean? And it's supposed to be like 40 hours, 40 hours.
Yeah.
38 hours. And so either the power reserve won't hold, or I know someone personally who has an SKX, and I've heard this before too, where it'll just sort of stop, right? It'll be running and it'll stop and you need to like tap it. And it'll just keep going. But
I've never had that.
For some reason, something
like
just
vintage?
kind of...
Or
like a newer SKX 009.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like something just gets caught and it'll just stop, and then all you need to do is a little light tap and it's like nothing ever happened.
And maybe that's a function they designed so that you can let it like and slow down, and it'll catch up to the actual time, and then you tap it when you're ready for it to go. Yeah, but it's odd. I've never had that happen. I've owned a SKX 013, which is a smaller form. I think it's 38 millimeters, something like that, of the SKX. It's black, and then I owned a SKX 009. Which is a Pepsi version of their popular 007.
Yeah.
And those obviously utilize the 7S26.
Yeah.
And it's a day and a date, I believe. Right?
Yes.
Which is quick change too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So that function is really nice.
But don't be shocked if you get your new Seiko 5 from Amazon and it's running 30 seconds slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's
only been one company I've ever purchased from that regulates their watch as well, and I'm gonna sponsor us. Oris. I've never had a bad Oris, and they're just utilizing a Swiss ETA 2824. I'm sorry, it's they're using the Solita variant.
Solita. So we're talking about watches under $1,500.
Yeah,
Oris by far has been the most incredible.
I'm sorry, but they use Solitas now.
Yes.
Which is the movement you see with the red rotor. But I forget what they call it. They put it under a different caliber name. Who cares? It's regulated to perfection.
It really is.
They've always been like COSC spec.
Every Oris that I've had has been, even though they're not COSC certified, has been within COSC specs. I've plus 2 seconds, plus 3, plus 1. Yeah. That's all I've ever experienced. Plus minus 1, like that's all the Orises I've ever had.
New and used, and so obviously, we purchased new and used, and we've gotten models that have always run perfectly. Yeah. And again, that's under $1,500, sometimes under $1,000. So pay a little bit more, and you do get a little bit more accuracy. Right. So that's what you come to expect. So, so 7S26 out of the way.
Yeah. Bottom line, if you pay $100 for an automatic watch, it's probably not going to be. You got to expect some.
It's fun. They're super fun, and it's a great gateway into a much bigger world of watches. So the next one on the lineup of Seiko movements, at least, is the 4R36.
4R36. So here we have an example, the Seiko Turtle Patty.
Yes. And there's a bunch of versions.
All turtles have the 4R36. A lot of the monsters have the 4R36. So this beats at 21,600 beats per hour. The acceptable daily rate is minus 35 to plus 45 seconds today. So it's still a pretty wide range. And it also has a 40-hour power reserve. Yeah. So we've both had plenty of watches that have had the 4R36.
You've had a bunch of turtles.
I've had quite a few turtles, yes.
Tunas, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, no, I say tunas. I keep saying tunas. Monsters.
Monsters, yeah.
Too many fun catch names for these watches.
I've had probably...
This is a tuna. I'm wearing a tuna right now, and I'm really excited to be wearing one.
3 monsters, I think?
You've had a couple monsters, and you even had a tour monster for a little while.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I'm sorry. I'll put up a picture of the monster so you guys don't get confused. Yeah. This is a tuna. I keep referencing the tuna. I've almost bought one. Adam just bought one again, and... it's one of the coolest watches. This is utilizing an in-house quartz movement. We're not going to talk about this. We might bring it into the video a little bit later, but this is strictly their autos. Yeah. So this is very similar to a 7S26. Yeah. In that it uses a quick change date window. Yep. Of course, there's a lot of flavors for the turtle. But again, you can also get some older monsters that utilize the same movement. Right. And they both will accompany the day and the date.
And this movement you can actually hack, unlike the 7S26.
Which I love. And hand wind. And of course...
so those are the two biggest things. Obviously the accuracy, the acceptable rate still sucks. Like,
it does suck.
Minus 35 to plus 45. And the thing here, too, with the 4R, I've had a lot of inconsistency with this. Yes. But I will say, the most accurate Seikos I've ever owned have used the 4R. I actually think this one's running within COSC specs.
Your chapter ring's properly aligned, though. That's nice. It's always nice to see.
So slightly off, but you can barely even tell.
That's okay. It's funny. There's quality control issues up and down with Seiko. And I said this is Seiko month, but we're going to start bashing them. There are quality control issues, but it kind of adds to the charm in a very, very odd way. Hear me out. There's a lot of inconsistencies with how the bezels align, the chapter rings align, the dial faces align. I've heard issues, obviously, with the movement, what we're discussing today. But you can kind of come to expect that. It's only when you get into that upper range. I would say the Seiko Sumo and up. We don't have a Sumo here today, but it also utilizes a 6R15, which we're going to step into in a second. So it's important to note, guys, that the day and the date, if you want a day and a date window, are only on those, say, lesser end movements, but the lower end movements, such as the 7S26 and the 4R36. So you're only going to get that there. But next we have
the 6R.
Tasty number. So again, there's the Sumo and the Shogun.
The Alpinist also has the 6R15 in it as well.
Correct, and that's actually 200 meter water resistant.
Yeah.
So it's actually the same range as their dive lineup. It's just not labeled as
Alpinist
is
a great watch.
Oh yeah,
I love that, and that thing looks beautiful in person. That forest green dial.
There's two versions. I'll put a picture.
Oh
for
right,
you guys.
the white and the newer one that you can like pick up off Amazon today is absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. I've had one of those and had held it in person and worn it for a few days.
And they'll come with either a leather strap or a bracelet, and they're fantastic watches. There's a whole cult following behind the Alpinist, and there's different versions of the Alpinist, but it's this really great hiking watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's an affordable Explorer basically, and it is with the cathedral hands that it has.
It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, we'll have to get one in for a review or something.
The green sunburst style, and what's sad is we've had one.
Yeah, I'll get one from Amazon and I'll just return it.
We'd love to talk about it. There's other reviews out there. I highly recommend you check them out. But
anyways, for the 6R15, so minus 15 to plus 25 seconds a day with a 50-hour power reserve. So this is basically everything the 4R36 is, with 10 more hours of power reserve.
Yeah, and only the date.
Yeah.
So no day.
Exactly, no day. Funny thing about this though, all these 6Rs that I've owned, on average have been less accurate than some of the 4Rs that I've owned.
Really?
Yeah, very interesting. It's really weird. I know, but you're paying more for the 50-hour power reserve.
Yeah, but
I wish there was a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Used market, you can get these for around $700. Is that true?
The Shoguns, $700-800, I think.
Okay.
You can get a brand new one for like $900 or something like that. So it's starting to get. But of course, with the Shogun, you're starting to pay for the featherweight titanium case and all that.
There's more there. There's more there. Now, originally this would come with Hardlex, so Hardlex crystal is the same you'd find in the SKX series and the SRP series, which is the turtle.
Yeah. I mean,
is that a huge deal breaker? No, I think Hardlex is fantastic. So movements aside, you're getting original case designs, and you're also getting really good quality because they make their own loom. They make the Hardlex.
Yeah.
They even grow the quartz crystals they use in their watches.
Right.
So like when you buy into Seiko, it's all in house, practically speaking, for the most part, especially with the higher end models. Obviously, they're like made in Japan, and of course, they're all in house.
Yeah.
So you're getting a really good deal for the price.
This one in particular,
Accuracy, though?
I've been losing about 7 seconds a day, which is not the end of the world.
That's really good.
It's that's pretty good. But like, I would much rather be gaining 5 or even gaining 10 rather than losing 7 because I just hate losing time. It's the worst thing in the world because then you have to set your watch a little bit ahead, like 30 seconds ahead, and then just watch that dials or watch the accuracy go down.
A note on the Shogun, and maybe we'll do a review or at least a comparison with this watch. It is stupid light, and you'd think that it feels unsubstantial, but it's a solid watch. It's just that the titanium they're using is so light, and also it's interesting to note that this is DiaShield coated, correct? Correct. So that's a coating they use on some of their upper end models to make it more scratch resistant. Whether that's true or not is neither here nor there. But again, you can get a Sumo for a little less with the same movement and expect the same grade of accuracy and
or
the same
an Alpinist for even less than a Sumo.
Oh yeah, the Alpin. Again, guys, I'd probably recommend that only because you get the added function of like the compass inner chapter ring that's rotating, so you can align the north and south.
Right.
You have a compass, and then it's again 200 meters water resistant. So. Very, very cool choice. And then lastly, we have this 8L35.
Yeah, 8L35, which you'll find, which is, I guess you could say the best movement you can get in a Seiko. A standard Seiko, not a Grand Seiko.
And Grand Seiko's its own thing now, so we're just going to exclude them from this particular video.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 8L35.
Yeah, so the 8L35, it's essentially an undecorated Grand Seiko movement, sort of like just a blank undecorated, basically unregulated Seiko movement.
It's commonly in the Marine Master 300,
Yeah.
but you can also find it in another watch. What do they have?
The new 60. Well, there's an old. I can't remember the reference, but it was some random obscure watch.
It looks like a
you
Stargate.
You don't find that anywhere
Yeah.
now. I guarantee you, 99% of you guys haven't even heard of this watch. But you can also get that in the 8035 in the new 62 Mas reissue as well.
Yes,
which
correct.
is
So
phenomenal.
you have two options for it. This is obviously built off a very classic design.
Yeah.
This is the Marine Master 300.
So the accuracy on this one is -10 to +15 seconds a day on a full wind, and obviously, as you guys can see, has no day. It's just the date, and it also has a 50-hour power reserve, just like the 6R.
Yeah. So again, better power reserve than the lower end models. It's certainly more accurate, or at least on paper,
Right.
more accurate. And this is so you might have known if you've watched our previous review of the Marine Master. This is a different Marine Master. Adam had sold that one, but picked this one up. And if you guys recall, if you watched that video, and I'll leave a card up in the top so you guys can check it out. You had very bad accuracy.
Yeah, it was
troubles.
losing like 30 seconds a day. So
Yeah.
it wasn't new. It was, I don't know what happened. Maybe something happened.
It
I don't know if it was like that out of the box.
very heavily, or
Who knows? I got
Yeah.
it from another person and it came in and I was losing 30 seconds a day.
It's great on that orange strap.
This one is, I think, only several months old. I got it from someone, got a great deal for someone who just didn't want it. I think he was trying to raise funds for a grail or something like that. This one is running like 3-4 seconds, plus 3-4 seconds. So, as far in my book, like that's great.
That's really great. That's
You know?
actually phenomenal.
So, and that's technically cost specs because that's -4 to +6 seconds a day. I think is the official cost cert.
So like the average price to get a watch with this movement, and on the used market, I'd say on the very, very low end without like boxes or papers or any sort of guarantee that it's an actual Marine Master 300, these aren't highly copied or faked. So
Yeah.
from my experience, you can get them around 1,400 to 1,600.
Yeah.
And 1,600
And that's a
would be-
great deal. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
1,400 for like a good condition Marine Master. I mean, if you can get that, that's
A brand new from a certified dealer, a little over $2,000.
yeah, right on
And
2,000. I think you can get it from Seiya for like 19, just under $2,000. Just
Really?
under, yeah.
Seiya Japan.
It's like 1,900 something. Yeah.
And they might even extend the warranty. I don't know what their policy is with their Seiko sales.
Yeah.
But it's a phenomenal watch, guys. It really is top of the food chain so far as Seiko's divers are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And it utilizes what is presumably their best movement. Again, quality control issues up and down, even in their highest range of divers. So, get it from a reputable dealer or get it from someone like if you buy it used, definitely talk with the seller first and foremost to make sure that it all checks out.
Yeah.
Because it should be an accurate watch, and you get that 8L in such a beautiful package. And, obviously, the aesthetics are somewhat similar amongst the range of Seiko's divers. They all use rounded hour markings aside from the 12, 3, 6, and 9.
Right.
Obviously, there's date windows in that 3 o'clock position. But they're all radically different in design, and you're getting a great movement in any one of these watches. I'll say that this is certainly the best on paper, but again, it may check out differently for you when you pick it up.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note though, like, if you're willing to take a chance on a watch that you really like the Patty Turtle, and it turns out being -15 seconds a day or -30, and you hate that, you can always return it, of course. But you can also get it regulated.
Yeah.
And you can even learn to regulate watches yourself.
This is a good
if
way
you're
to do
comfortable
it.
with that.
This is a
But
good way to do it, a really good way to do
These
it.
watches are very easily regulated. I've heard countless stories of people getting their Seikos within cost specs with a quick regulation, which shouldn't be too expensive either.
No.
I know. Last time I mentioned Jacket International Watchworks (IWW) regulated
Who
my
fixed
Marine
that?
Master.
The previous Marine Master.
Yeah, from 50 minus like 30 seconds to like +1 or 2 seconds a day, I think. And that was like something like $100, a little less than $100, including the shipping that I took care of both ways. So, if you really want one of these pieces and you're willing to just get it regulated for another, couple, like $100 or so, get another $100 to spend on that, then you might be very, very happy with your Seiko, especially if it's kind of your one watch and you really care about the accuracy day to day.
Yeah, so guys, if you were ever wondering the differences between these movements, that's pretty much the gist of it. Obviously, the prices vary between those model lines. They all fall under the guise of the Prospect, is rather the umbrella of the Prospect series now. Everything from the basic SKX to the Marine Master with varying quality. But you're getting an original movement, you're getting an original case design, and in a lot of cases, a great deal of variation. Particularly with the lower end series like the SRP Patty Turtles. You can get a black and gold, with a gilt dial. You can get black and silver, you can get the Patty now, you can get the Zimbe. There's always a string. There's like a Lagoon edition of blue.
Yeah, there's green, blue.
Exactly. So, like, if there's a lot of options out there for you, Seiko's a really great company to buy into, particularly if you're just getting into watches.
Yeah.
So, don't be disheartened if your watch is losing a lot of time. That's sort of the expected accuracy range. If it's losing a radical amount of time or gaining a radical amount of time, again, it doesn't cost much to regulate it. So, you can't go wrong. And if you really don't want to go wrong, you should just buy a tuna. Because this thing is accurate as shit.
Yeah.
And the battery, like, this is a quartz-based movement, but this thing lasts anywhere between 5 to 7 years, is what people have stated. Yeah, we'll see 7 years down the road how long this one lasts for you. But God, I love the tuna. We're going to do a review of this watch. We should do a review of this watch.
Agreed.
A lot of people have touched on it, but a lot has just gone unspoken for this watch. I really think it's one of those underappreciated watches because people don't like ticking second hands, but this is such a brilliant dive watch. Again, with another original case design. Seiko, you're doing it right. Don't listen to the rest of the crowd. You're doing it right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it for the movements, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you disliked it, that's okay too. Let us know what Seikos you own. If you have a big collection of Seikos, or you just want one Seiko, I hope this video helped you decide between the movements. Obviously, again, there are choices between these movements. Like, there's different chassis for all these movements. Like, if you don't like the Shogun, you can get the Sumo. Or if you don't like the Turtle, you can go back, and they're even reproducing them now. You can get the Samurai. Because the Samurai uses a 7S26, or does it use
No,
the
now
4R?
it uses the 4R. But
Exactly,
it did
so...
use, so there you go.
So, like, older Samurais, and you can look up some vintage Samurais, they look like the Shogun, except they're in steel cases. So if you like a watch with a little bit more heft, there you go.
Yeah.
Guys, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. There's a subscribe button on our homepage. There's a subscribe button on this video. If you enjoy this content, we do 2 of these videos a week. Please check them out. And yeah, there's a huge back catalog of videos too. And always leave a comment down below with something you'd like to see on the channel, or just general praise for our channel. We love being showered with compliments. Alright guys, take care, and we'll see you
guys.
later.